What is up, everybody? Welcome into another DNVR Nuggets pregame.
Welcome to the disappointment.
It's Friday night.
Let's go.
The parents
This
are
is the
away.
party crew. This is the party crew. I came here with the boys.
No parents, no rules. We're going to throw a rager to get you set for this Nuggets game, get your weekend started right. I'm Brendan Vogt. This show is brought to you, as all of our shows is, by DraftKings Sportsbook down there in the corner, America's top-rated, #1 rated sportsbook. You can use promo code DNVR if you haven't signed up yet. When you do, you'll get all types of no-brainer offers. DraftKings, they're just trying to give you money. Later in the show, we'll make some money with my man on the end there, Superstar Dev.
Oh, yeah.
How are we feeling on this Friday night?
You know, undefeated.
Yeah,
that's how
right.
I'm feeling. I'm feeling 1-0. And when I say us, I mean the Nuggets. And me on the betting portion.
Right. Waiting for that part.
Our bettors are we're winning right now. We're going to try to get another one to go 2-0.
Next to Dev, to be honest, I kind of thought he would be in the arena tonight.
Dude,
but he's a company man. He's a committed man. I got D-line.
I'm very conflicted about how I am to proceed with my Nuggets fandom / my strange role on this show.
Yeah.
That is not actually my job, but
That's
it's
right.
become my job. I receive no money for being on this show.
But it's like your #1 daily thing.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. So I don't know. Like, I sold my tickets, and I was like, I mean, first off, I was in bed when I sold my tickets, so it didn't feel that difficult to part with because I would have had to leave bed to go to the arena.
There you go.
But I left bed to
Good
come
point.
here. So I don't know. We're going to have to see how this plays out as the season goes on. I don't know how to do it. We're going to find out.
The Nuggets are back in Denver, back in Ball Arena for the home opener. So really excited. It's obviously the San Antonio Spurs and Greg Popovich in town. I mentioned Greg Popovich because he, fellas, was pretty much the theme of that pregame availability. We didn't talk much about the Denver Nuggets today. Malone did talk about Greg Popovich helping him land that job with the Cavs in 2005. Here's a quote for you. He said to me once, "Malone, I have no idea why I keep getting you jobs because you've never helped me win a damn game." He went on to say, "Me, my wife, my girls, we have a little shrine for Coach Pop in this house." A lot of mutual admiration. It comes up seemingly every time the Spurs are in town. So question for you, Dev, right out of the gate. Bigger bromance, you and D-Line, or Malone and Popovich?
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I'm waiting for the
Good
answer. I'm right here. I'm listening.
Could you repeat the question?
Classic.
Well, that
Bigger
hurt.
bromance, you and D-Line, or Malone and Popovich?
Oh, you really did re-answer it. Okay. I'm going to sit here and wait for the answer a second time.
It's got to be
Malone.
us two.
Yeah,
it's got to be us two.
There we
In
go.
your eye,
We're in
Malone.
love. We're in love.
It's true. It's
That's
true.
why he comes back on the show.
I've never
every
heard that.
week.
I've never used that word before. The L word.
See?
We're going to talk about it after the show.
We're still waiting for the starters as much as actual game notes. Nothing too surprising, really. Anyone want to guess what Malone is most focused on tonight?
I'm going to say the defense.
It's the defense.
Let's
He wants
go.
to see them defend on a string.
all the right answers.
Stay in front of those guards in San Antonio. He praised them. He said, look, just because the veterans are gone doesn't mean this isn't a formidable team. They're going to be ready to run. We got to be ready to defend. And, it was a lot of the usual coaching cliches. He doesn't want to see any letdown from the Suns to this game. Doesn't matter who your opponent is. They're just focused on them. You guys know. You guys know all the lines at this point.
Yeah, I know.
You guys know all
we
the...
should let's do next time. Let's just do Mad Lib, Malone Mad
Just
Lib.
put it together ourselves.
Yeah. It's like all guys. We really need to make sure that we're talking to each other. We need to make sure we'll fill it all out. But he's not wrong. I mean, that coach speak is coach speak because it's like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah,
you're playing another professional basketball team.
It's the case every time.
You're not like going into a new school year. You have to redefine your life. You're
Sure.
like, we're going to try to defend their offense.
Right. I do think people, I do think most fans are pretty confident in the Nuggets right now, and especially those starters. But the bench unit, slightly different story. We saw, of course, the bench unit struggle together, guys, in the first half. Different story with a stagger in the second half. So, Dev, while we're all on Denver Nuggets watch, we're also on Bones watch here. Do you expect anything to be different tonight with that second unit?
I think it depends on how good if the Nuggets go up big and in the blowout fashion, we will see Bones. If not, if they keep it close, I just don't expect Bones to get on the court again. I just feel like this is a situation like every other rookie that comes into Denver where he's going to have to just earn it. And when his time comes, it comes. When his name is called, he has to be ready. But there's no way that you believe that Malone is just handing the keys to anybody.
Eric, should I just stop asking this question until we see him, or is
Nope.
there a chance? No,
No chance,
Not
no.
to you, at least.
Yeah, no, feel free to ask it. I want to talk about Bones all the time.
Do you think you'll see him tonight?
Do you want to talk about my interaction with Bones today?
Yeah, wait, did you
I
have
saw
one?
him.
I missed this.
Yeah, I saw him. He released a T-shirt.
That's right.
I bought that T-shirt. I put it in the response to his tweet about his T-shirt that I bought his T-shirt. You know what he said to me?
Thanks.
Thank you. With
That's
two
all.
emojis.
That
Two
fast.
emojis right off the bat.
Whoa.
Me and Bones and me.
You guys are like,
I know, dude. Dev's old news.
What the-
Brendan never was. Me and Bones from here on out. Let's bring it up every game.
Be still Eric's beating heart. Dev, what do you expect to see from that second unit tonight? Let's talk more specifically sub patterns, because I don't think personnel's changing. Hockey subs again. I mean, are we going to see him work his way towards those 5 on the floor together?
honestly, I feel like we're going to see the exact same thing where he tries to give them another opportunity just because of sample size. You can't just give up on it the first time that it didn't work. Also, that's a group that he's going to want to try to get together because just at any point, anybody could go down with an injury or anything could happen. So you don't want to be too reliant on, Will Barton or just having to stick a guy there. You want them to try to find some cohesion, and the only way you could get that is if guys are playing together. So I expect them to just go with the attempt again just to see if it works. So I don't expect any changes in that first half.
There's no I think that we're gonna see, like Malone is the type of coach. We see this over and over and over. We complain about it, but like we're wrong always
Right.
because
Yeah.
it like works out. Like he sticks with something. He doesn't make a change after a win.
Sure.
He's never.
And he
made a
did
change
say
a
after
win.
that game he's going to go back to it.
Yeah, why would you make it? Like his goal, unfortunately for us, is like not to make the games the most fun as possible.
Sure.
He's like to win the basketball game. So like he's just
Different priorities.
Yeah, like he's not like, oh man, it'd be dope tonight if I what if I put Bowl and Bones out there for like no good reason. Like that's not his MO. He just wants to win the game. If it was successful, he'll keep doing it until it's no longer successful. He won't make immediate changes. This is what frustrates everyone about Malone, but is actually like one of his greatest attributes is that he like allows things to play out before he makes changes. And it's frustrating because we have this shiny new toy, but I think Dev hit it right on. Like if they're up big and the game is not in the balance, like we'll probably see Bones. But otherwise, like there's no way.
Yesterday at noon, our members were treated, fellas, to a live edition of The List, the first ever live edition of The List with Adam Mares and Harrison Wind. That video, by the way, is now listed to everyone, free to all. If you're saying, hey, I signed up just so I could watch that, don't worry, that's just going to stay behind the paywall.
Yeah.
You'll have access to it all season long. But it was so good, we wanted to let everyone see it. In that video, fellas, Adam talked about the difference in a stint for the second unit if one or two shots just falls, right? Especially when it's a perimeter-oriented kind of unit. And so, the question was, does the second unit really play that poorly in the first half, or are there some wide-open looks that they just missed? Dev, is it too early to say, oh, that five-man unit is not going to work together? Do you have confidence in them figuring something tenable out?
Well, first off, they were going against a team that was in the finals last year.
That's a good point.
I think that makes it difficult just to gauge. Also, it's the first time that we've seen that lineup together. Like even in the preseason, they didn't get to play together. So I'll say it's too early to tell if that was bad. It would off of one game you can't judge the type of things that it was. But also with that being said, some things just didn't make sense. Like having those two small guards and things like that. Which there will be times that it calls for it. I feel like the last game was just an opportunity for them just to see how it looked.
Yeah, the one thing that like came out of the last game, which is, the list sounds great. Did not watch it, so I can't say
It was actually great, but I always support bullying Adam when he's not here.
Let's just say that we hear enough of Adam's thoughts that I don't usually seek them out.
I
when
could
I'm
probably
sitting right next to him.
Just do a list in my own head.
Yeah, let's play a game called Who Said This? Michael Malone or Adam Mares, and we'll get 100% each time. But the one like bummer thing that came out of the first game is like how long and how many minutes the starters ended up logging individually. Like,
Right.
the stagger is great because it just makes sure that there's always capable scorers on the floor, but it also means like you're not giving people rest that they need. So
I thought he was on vacation or something. I don't remember where he is. I literally don't know.
he's in Texas. I talked to
okay.
him today. It was terrible. But like you want your second unit to be guys that can come in and make sure that Nikola Jokic is not playing to the point where he's worn down when games really, really count at the end of the season. So I'm hopeful that, I don't love the hockey switch. None of us do, but I love the idea of just being like, okay, our most important players need to be protected from, running themselves into the ground. So, I don't know if that group of 5 that we saw, it didn't make any sense, but it also, the main question, is it too quick to pull the plug? Yes.
Right.
It's been a game. It was not only a game, it was one shift.
Right. And I think that speaks to why sometimes I find myself wondering, and again, to your important preface, I think Malone is right. When I'm confused, I usually think that's a me problem.
Yeah, you're right. That is a you problem.
But I do wonder why Malone can take so long with this stuff, and I think, why does he want this to work, right, more than option B? And it's to Eric's point right there, Dev. I think Will Barton looked great with the second unit, but didn't we also spend our preseason thinking, how do they find ways to rest Will so he doesn't have to play 30 to 40 minutes a night?
Yeah, I think with offset lineups like that, I do think that there's times that guys do want to play without the star so that they could get their shots or they could get their shine. So that was a spot that I feel like Will Barton feels comfortable. He wants to play those extra minutes because he doesn't want to have to run it through Jokic.
Right.
So I do think that there is times that they're gonna
you mean all game long? He wants to have times where he can be the aggressor.
Yep, and then just switch off every now and then where another guy, if you put Michael Porter Jr. in that type of setting,
sure,
he's going to be like, okay, I could get back to myself. So I do think that there is something to making sure that the guys rest, but also making sure that guys can get their opportunity to play in a different light where they're not having to just give it up to Jokic every time because he's the best player on the floor, and he's going to need his shots.
Best floor, the floor being, of course, the floor of the earth.
Mm-hmm. And
this earth, the blue one.
But Jokic is always the best player on the floor.
In the preseason, Malone did say, I asked him about that bench, and he said they may have to try to get Porter out there with him. And I wonder if that's the long-term answer because, again, I do think Barton, it's awesome. We saw quintessential Barton last night, right? Yep. The wear 5 hats Barton guy. But that's also the same thing that presumably has led to his body breaking down a couple of times. So it'll be interesting. We'll see. But I do think this conversation helps to outline sort of why this is even a question because I know to some people at home it's the stagger worked. Why would you go back? And I think that's why. Obviously, two great coaches today, guys, going at it, but two coaches who, in my opinion, who have built a reputation through success on the court, but also by being really good with the media and just really good in that scrum in two different ways. Greg Popovich and Michael Malone got me thinking between watching at home, Eric, between covering those games in Ball Arena, Dev, or on the road if you have. Who are the best scrum coaches in the league? Let's figure out this first team all scrum. I'm going to put Popovich in there, of course.
Yeah, no
right?
kidding,
That's,
dude. Popovich is
the man.
Yeah, he's arguably the GOAT.
Who else is really good in scrums? It seems like the way to be good in a scrum, as far as I'm concerned, is just to crack jokes. It's like the same role that I have on this
Or just bully
panel.
the media.
Yeah, you just bully people.
Who drove their Toyota Camrys there through the snow.
You say
making
obvious,
$25,000 a year.
You say obvious things and then you just make people feel bad for asking them in the first place.
That was a good question, but what if I made this guy look like an idiot just because I'm bored?
Can I nominate one Steve Kerr?
Yes, Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr's a great, anybody who's smart and loquacious.
Nice, dude.
Thanks, bro. I knew that was gonna get the people going.
SAD line.
I have a cousin named LaQuisha. Are you talking about her? Are you talking about LaQuisha?
She's in the DMs, bro. I just wanted to ask you questions.
All right, I don't have a cousin named LaQuisha, but if I did, but
Brian
sorry
Shaw.
to get back to the top. Yeah, Kerr is a good name, but another one that stands out is Monty Williams.
Yeah,
he's a guy that every single thing about him is just elegant. Like he's eloquent, he's smart, he's intelligent, he's calm at all times. And he demands the room, and he gets the respect from everyone there.
He's also like I of course don't know him, but Sirens on Colfax, we are so bad.
Hot take alert. Here it comes. Deliver it. Let's hear it.
No, it's the most lukewarm take. He's a very real person. I think like sometimes you talk to college coaches and you go, all right, your energy is fun, but your personality has been like warped by being a recruiter for your entire
and being like the king of the castle.
Like you're just using buzzwords. Like none of this means anything. I'm buying nothing that comes out of your mouth. Monty Williams speaks, and I'm like, I feel like I should listen. Like I should listen to this. Like I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna grow.
Like, could you say that again?
Yeah. Kerr's a good one too, Kale, because obviously he worked in the media with TNT,
he's
broadcaster.
Incredible.
So
he's like a smart, like thoughtful human being. Like. That's the thing. Like all these guys that are good in the quotes, are good in the scrum, are the guys that have then, when society has fallen apart before our very eyes, like are the guys that step forward and say important things and like are aware of their surroundings and like are aware of their place in it and are able to just sort of talk about things larger than basketball.
Sure.
So you just want to hear people that know. That have some sense of what's going on here on Earth and like apply that to something trivial like basketball. Feels good.
I don't mean to interrupt this thrilling conversation, but we have breaking news.
Breaking news?
Breaking news. This is what Jokic looks like showing up to the arena today.
What?
We got a fit pick and a haircut. Oh
Nuggets
my
by
gosh.
1,000.
Yeah.
Yo.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, breaking news. My freaking heart. Look at this. Man has a haircut. This is a suit?
At risk of offending people, that's some real Eastern Promises energy right there.
Big Eastern Promises.
That man looks
He
like
has on
he's
a
gonna
suit.
Can you bring up
kill me.
Do you
to be
have
honest.
the powers of production to bring up that versus LaMelo Ball suit?
Oh yeah, we gotta see that.
We can just see the difference in maybe.
But look, it's on the TV. Oh, he looks good. It's a turtleneck. Oh man.
The greatest thing about him,
timing.
look at it. He's trying not to crack a smile because he knows.
Oh,
knows he
he's
looks
fresh. He
awesome.
must have got a good sleep last night. He's like put the daughter to bed early.
Oh
got
my
some
god,
good sleep.
Dude, I was thinking about LaMelo Ball's suit. When you're wearing that, at any point in the day, do you like forget that you have that on?
No.
Like, that has to be the only thing on
Dude, he
your
wore
own
that
mind,
for
right?
he wore that for 45 minutes. He wore it to walk in and then to walk out, and then he wore it for the whole rest of the day. He's wearing a tank top and shorts afterwards.
Dude, he looks like he's gonna be the Riddler in the new
It hit
Batman
the door
movie.
on the way out. Like it was crazy.
Oh, that's so badass. What were we talking about? Oh, coaches. Great coaches. I also like Kerr because he's different from Popovich in terms of when I've asked Kerr a question, like he looks me in the eyes like, you know, a human being
Right.
who was just curious
A
about
gentleman
something.
that is speaking to you.
I like Tom Thibodeau a lot, mostly because he encapsulates everything I hate and love about the Northeast at the same time, the exact same time.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm literally never happy.
you're like, he just won by 50. He's like, yeah.
He literally someone asked him the other night after their double overtime win, they said, are you happy with, and he interrupted and said, I'm never happy. So that's
I like that about him. He and I, birds of a feather. Me and Tom Thibodeau,
You're
same guy.
always happy though.
Oh,
You're
that's
the
true.
opposite.
Somebody
of him.
earlier in the chat said that you could blindfold me with a piece of tooth or floss
because you grin so hard.
because my eyes are like
They
a
do
little
kind of
squinty.
yeah.
Because
Because
you
you're
could
like
use dental floss to blindfold me.
And you're probably like, what's happening out there?
I felt
I
hurt.
can't see.
I felt hurt and seen and unseen at the same time.
before we get to Dev's locks, I do want to talk a little bit about Michael Malone in the scrum. And he's just so great at it because I think he knows sort of what gets a headline and what gets a laugh, but he always seems to me to be sort of picking his words very intentionally, talking to his players. They say don't talk through the media, but he seems to have an understanding of how to do both. And you know, he never wastes that time if he needs to use it to defend someone, to make a point. But there always seems to he seems to try to utilize that time rather than, as much as we just praise him, Popovich, who just sort of makes a mockery of the whole thing.
Yeah, it seems like he understands that his guys are going to listen. I'm not sure if it's like direct or if somebody's texting him or whatever the case may be. But maybe that's a time where they get some type of transparency from him in a different way. Because
Right.
I do feel like he challenges them through the scrums and media, which is wild because it's right before the game. But I think it just like sets the tone, and he does understand that. With that being said, he's also very respectful to the media. Like even if it's a question that he kind of doesn't want to answer, he does. I mean, I can't think of a time that he's like shut it down completely. He'll go around it in a different way.
He did to me once.
You probably earned it.
I think I did. So there were like 3 questions pregame at the Knicks in Madison Square Garden about the Nuggets. Not a single question about the Knicks. And it was about continuity. And I had a continuity question in my back pocket for weeks. And I thought, now's my chance.
Yeah.
No. I got reamed out in front of every notable media person from my hometown in my first trip to the Garden. But no, to Dev's point, for the most part, he's really respectful. So you appreciate it, man, because I think like both us and coaches need to, there are so many availabilities, and to just be like, how do we use this time so that we're not wasting each other's time? But also for Malone, I think as he's a guy who he's talked himself into a higher reputation. And I just think that's kind of cool. With that said, speaking of reputation, Dev.
Do we have the graphic?
Dev, you got a reputation for making us money when the Denver Nuggets play basketball.
Here's
And
the lock tracker.
here we go, the lot tracker. Pump it through because Dev is 1-0, baby.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Why do we don't say anything at all? Let's let the graphic do the talking.
Right? It does tell you everything you need to know. For those who are not familiar with the program, at the end of every pregame show, Superstar Dev takes us through the DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, the odds for that Nuggets game, of course. He's going to give us a lock. He's going to give us a bunch of bets. Let's open it up, gentlemen.
Oh boy.
So first off, like just going into this game, this is a spot that I have like not been in a very, very long time.
1-0. Undefeated.
You're fired.
No, very, very confident in the Nuggets'
What?
chances of
Me too.
winning.
Me too.
Holy smokes.
I just feel like, really, I just don't feel like there's a way that the Spurs can win a game, which is wild to like think about when you go back to last game and knowing that the bench unit was just not that good and things just had to turn around. But this is a game that I feel comfortable walking into.
-7 comfortable? Because that's the line. Nuggets favored by 7 at home.
Felt like Rocky had hit my chest. I would say yeah, but then I look back at the Spurs last game.
Okay.
Granted, they were playing the Magic, but they just are coming off of a blowout win where confidence is high. When you look at that roster, I'm just like, I'm really shocked at the type of team that they have. Like, it just seems like that is not a team that should win games, and they're winning, which, I mean, it goes to, like, give credit to Pop. But I stay away from lines. Do you guys feel anything on the lines?
I hate lines.
Oh, it just went up. 7.5. Literally
While
from the
we were
last time I
watching,
looked. Yeah.
7.5
7.5.
in seconds. And it went up for the Nuggets.
Yeah.
People are, feeling like the
minus
Nuggets
320 on the money
win
line
more.
to win it all.
I do feel confident in the Nuggets winning. You could put that as a juicer. I will say that.
Okay.
I wouldn't take the line, but I would take the money line.
There are alternate spreads in here as well, Dev. I mean, I don't want to put you too hard on the spot, but like,
a lot going on.
How many points is enough where you feel comfortable?
I'll say like 4.
Okay.
In that line. But I really do think this is a game that, I mean, Jokic has a haircut. He's going to go wild.
Oh, my God. The man has a
the
haircut.
The team has to get it together. This was not like a huge game for Michael Porter Jr. coming off of his game. I just feel like this is a bounce back spot for a lot of guys. So I would say if I had to do an alternate spread, -4 would be comfortable for me.
I like that, and I think that's like -120 for folks playing along at home.
I've got my lock as soon as you're
Whoa.
ready. Just FYI.
Keep going though, Dev. It's your show.
All right, so just taking a look at lines, because that's where I like to make mine is the player props.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few different things that stand out for me.
Okay.
This is a game that it
Walk
is
us
tough.
through it. Walk
It is
us through
tough
it.
to say because I feel like this could go one way. It's either going to be very, very close or it's going to be a real blowout where we don't see guys
So it'll either be
in the
close
fourth quarter.
or a blowout. One way or the other.
One
it'll
way or
either
the
be
other.
close or
Like,
not
look,
close.
well,
one
like
tells
this-
you.
Don't forget the third option though, where it's kind of close.
No, that was
Oh, is that
close
off
or
the
not
t- oh,
close.
okay,
Those are the
okay.
two.
Yeah, that's just
Okay,
it.
We don't
now
know
I've
which
got my
way.
head wrapped
You just
around.
don't know. You just never know with this type of team. We'll see what's happening here.
Adam's head is in both hands.
With that being said, one thing that stands out for me is Michael Porter Jr. I'm going to go right back to the well on that. That is one that I gave out on the Colorado Buffalo. It was the pick of the week.
What? So is this the lock? I need to know the lock. So I
This
need
is
to bet
not-
the lock.
This is the lock.
Okay, where is it?
This is the lock. Michael Porter Jr.
Okay. Say it.
Over points, rebounds, and assists.
PA and assist.
You don't have to spell it.
And it's at 27.5. I really I feel like he's going to get that based off of the fact that he now can pass the
Over
ball.
27.
I feel like he did not score much last game. He didn't even get shots up. And
15
I feel like
points. The optimal, the par for Michael Porter Jr. according to
yeah, they're going to go up and like they're going to make sure that he gets involved really early, so where he's shooting the ball. It's also like I don't think they have a Michael Porter Jr. stopper or a guy that's just going to try to get on him. It's going to be a lot of double teaming in that matchup with Pirtle.
You sold it. I bet it.
Yeah, Jokic gets the passes.
You learn to say, learn to accept yes, dude.
What
I took it.
would Jokic's name sound like if we just stuck an R in there for no reason? Jokic?
Jokic?
That's too close.
Jokerich?
I don't like that. Okay, sorry. What were you saying?
You want to hear my lock?
I do want to hear your lock.
Nikola Jokic. Rebounds. Over on rebounds. He's going against Jacob Pearl. And like he got over 11 last time.
Clip that. Just as like a soundboard drop. Just for my alarm in the morning.
This is a rebound game for Nikola Jokic. He's going to get 1 million rebounds. I just put my entire count on it. Just kidding. That's irresponsible. But I did put 2 units. I feel great. 2 units on my lock. 2 units on Dev's lock. What's your lock?
11.5. My lock, well, let's see. We're in rebounds. Do they have Facundo Campazzo listed? They don't. Those cowards, I'm not betting. I abstain. And by cowards, I mean the top-rated sportsbook app in the United States and our dear, dear partners. Right. Anything else for us, guys? 3 minutes here till game time or listed game time.
I mean, we know, and I can't believe I didn't do it in the last pregame. Well, we know I like to look at one guy on the opposite team.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I forgot about that.
Let's get your nightly Derrick Rose bet.
Yeah, exactly. The guy that I feel like is going to have the game that stands out is DeJounte Murray. He shot a hell of a lot of times in the last game. Now he's going against Monte Morris, Austin Rivers. I feel like they're going to just try to force feed him the ball and just try to get him going. So I think that his points is something that I have to take a look at because he's going to be the one gunning.
Yeah, I don't like that part of the betting segment where you talk about the advantage that we have over our inferior players. That doesn't feel good, but all the same, if you can make money with Dev's locks, good, do it in good faith.
You got Dev's lock, you got Eric's lock, you have your app and all the power to bet responsibly and make some money and have some fun on this Friday night home opener, baby. Back on the other side with a winner's lounge. I'm calling it now. If it's a loser's lounge, blame Eric. We'll see you on the other side.